You are about to learn one of the biggest secrets in the history of the world. It's a secret that has huge effects for everyone who lives on this planet. Your true wealth is your time and freedom. Money is just a tool for trading your time. It's a container to store your economic energy until you're ready to deploy it. But the whole world has been turned away from real money and has been fooled into using currency. A deceitful imposter that is silently stealing your two most valuable assets, your time and your freedom. They say that money doesn't grow on trees, but the truth is that the modern banking system creates currency far faster than trees can grow.
The marketplace could care less how spiritual you are, really. They don't care that you can pray, quote scripture, and that you go to church every Sunday. Marketplace rewards one word, and that word is success. Because I believe the Bible is the #1 success book of all times.
Is that the only way to prove your credibility from this point forward in your life is to add value. And it is the value that you add to the marketplace that establishes your credibility.
People can usually trace their successes and failures to relationships in their lives. That's an absolute fact.
This is the world today. There are people in the world with too much money and not enough time. Okay, I guarantee you, a lot of us fit into that category of just, not enough time on our hands. But then there are people in the world with, not enough money and too much time. And the question is, as they are around the planet, how do you tap into that cognitive surplus? I call it a cognitive surplus, right?
And so one of the things that we have to understand is regardless of what level of effectiveness you are operating on, there's always a way and a place and an environment in which we can make ourselves more effective by increasing our efficiency.
Welcome everyone. This is Marketplace Venture coming all the way from Kenya. Collins Bolo, your host for this program today. I'm very happy and excited for all of you who have been following up our programs. Every Tuesday we have My Wealth, My Health, My Wealth. Every Wednesday we have Moment with Christ. Every Thursday like today we have Marketplace Venture. And every Friday we have Rebuilding Family Foundation. Really happy and excited for you joining us. Kindly, from where you are, if you can get me well and clear, just type your name and tell me where you might be watching me from. Just type your name and kindly tell me where you might be watching me from. As some of you are new who have been joining us, I've been asking, who is Collins Bolo? What does he do? And why do I need to listen to him as he comes up with these programs? I'm really happy and excited for you. I do different kind of things in life. First, I'm a clergy, and I'm very happy and proud being my first primary calling for life. Apart from being a clergy, I'm a psychological counselor. And in psychology counseling, my expertise and where I've been practicing more for the last 15 years in the field is in the field of psychometrics, whereby basically I assess people scientifically to know the level of their intelligence, the speed of their brain, how the brain and the body coordinates in day-to-day activity. I assess their current personality makeup, probably if there are areas whereby they need to be aware about, areas of challenge where they need to build, grow, and develop themselves. And also I assess them to know which career they can be more suitable in life. When I was doing my psychometric assessment, I do a lot of counseling therapy. I do a lot of premarital counseling, post-marital counseling, one-on-one therapy to different group of people, group therapy. And apart from that, I'm a life coach and a relationship coach. I'm very happy and excited even having you coming in our program. And I'm quite sure today, in one way or the other, this program is going to be extremely beneficial for you as it's going to build you up, to help you to grow, and even to expand yourself. Why Marketplace venture. Why marketplace venture? Many of us, as we went to school, we were taught that we should really work hard, and by the end of the day, we get good jobs. But there's a lot of big challenges in our current market today. Most of us have found themselves, what they're doing is not probably what they were, maybe they thought they would be, or what they trained in school, college, or university. There's some who are not privileged to get to college nor university, and probably they feel maybe in one way or the other, they're out of place. A time like now in our country, Kenya, when there's a lot of crisis because of lifestyle has become extremely tough and difficult. Is it possible still to make it at a time like now? People with very high financial intelligence understand one thing. When there's much problem, also there's much opportunity at the same time. And that's where now it brings the concept of business, whereby in business, it's all about identify challenges and create solution. So that means probably you might be part of the people who are solving problems, or you might be among the people who are in problem, or probably causing problem. Marketplace venture comes in to help you to understand the kind of mindset you need to have, the kind of skill sets you need to have, and also the kind of tool sets you need to have, so that in a time of crisis like now, you can prevail while others are mourning and complaining about each and everything around them, including complaining about the government, about the leadership of our country, about the every environment, some complaining about their dads, complaining about their moms, about their uncles, and everything. Marketplace venture will help you to understand what's happening in the market and what needs to happen in you, so the two can come together and you can start your journey towards your financial and wealth creation. It's I, Collins Bolo. Now, today, as we'll be running this program, I'll be doing some talks. Also, we are going to have to get to learn from other gurus who have made it. Men who started as hustlers, who struggled so much in life, but there are some things which they found out and it has really helped them to prevail and to succeed, which I'm learning from them, and I'd like you to join me in learning from them, so that by doing that, in one way or the other, we can definitely have success, progress, and excellence in our life. Now, while growing up, I remember sometimes my late dad used to tell me, when we probably are in a matatu or we are walking around, we could meet with a man who is pushing a cart and sweating extremely so hard. And dad used to tell us, make sure that you work hard so that by the end of the day, you won't find yourself pushing a cart. Basically, what he was telling us is there's some kind of hard work and toil which do not bring process. While at the same time, there's hard work if you put now, it will help you tomorrow to become better. That brings us to this question. Does hard work pay out by the end of the day? Does hard work pay out by the end of the day? These are big questions you need to ask ourselves with this thing in mind. We have people today who are working extremely hard and they are suffering in poverty and anguishing in poverty. And the group of people are working very hard and they're succeeding and excelling. What is the bottom, the line between the first group and the second group towards the kind of results which they get? That's what we'll be measuring today as we learn from great people who have made it and who are helping others to make it, in which I'm part of the people in that journey. Kindly, if today is your first time you're joining our program, subscribe to our channel, so that every time we have new trainings coming on, you'll be getting signals and you can be able to join our presentation. At this point, as we move on, I'd like to appreciate the first two people who have just joined us. That's Celesta Mary, who is watching all the way from Nairobi. Thank you, Celesta Mary, and also my queen, who also she's supporting me by joining this program at this particular moment and time. Also, I'd like to appreciate the presence of Yes. Parkinson, a great friend of mine, all the way from Narok, all the way from Narok. Timanoi from Narok, I really like to appreciate you. Let's keep the ball rolling, all the way from Narok. Thank you very much. I'm very happy and excited to have you on studio today, even listening to our program, Marketplace Venture. Now, for us to start our journey of success towards answering this question, does hard work pay out? I'd like to bring on board one of the great speakers in one of the interview, Brian Tracy. This is one of the multimillionaires in dollar. Let's hear what he says about the concept of hard work, so that out of it we can get to this point. Do we need to work hard or don't we need to work hard? Listen to what Brian Tracy talks about in context of hard work.
There's a lot of controversy in politics and economics, and it all comes down, in my estimation, to telling the truth. Telling the truth. What is the truth? And whatever the truth is, tell the truth. Don't try to change it or minimize it and so on. And it's the same thing in America. When I began studying, we had 5,000 self-made millionaires, 5,000 back in 1980. Today, we have millions of self-made millionaires. Somebody becomes a self-made millionaire 80 or 90% in sales every 8 minutes. I mean, the statistics are phenomenal. So if you don't become a self-made millionaire in your entrepreneurial business, you should be taken out in the back and beaten with a stick, because because the fact is, it has never been easier. There have never been more opportunities for you to do well in life is if you tell yourself the truth. And the truth is, there's nothing replaces hard work from a long period of time. Start earlier. Self-made millionaires, and now I've done a whole several years of research on self-made billionaires. Self-made billionaires have specific habits. I've got them all here written down and laid out. And number one is they get up early. They get up before 6 a.m. Number two is they get started. They exercise, get their body going, and then they study. The average self-made millionaire, billionaire, jillionaire reads 2 hours a day in order to become better. One of the richest men in the world, Bill Gates, reads a book a week. And then what he does is he takes and he underlines all the key points, and then he goes back and he puts all the key points on his website. So if you want to know what Bill Gates is reading, then what you do is you go to billgates.com. And there's his latest book and what he thought were the most important points in that book. Now, if you're not doing that, then you're really not serious about becoming wealthy, because this is free information by the richest self-made multi-billionaire in the world, and he just gives it to you. And people say, "Oh, I think I'll just go have drinks after work."
You know what I find fascinating is, if we go back to the 1980s, it seemed like the majority of the people were not aware of what needed to be done to become a millionaire. Now, that information is available, yet there's also often many people saying slightly different things, and some people are paralyzed from doing anything because they don't know what they should prioritize. How do we overcome this inertia from overwhelm?
Well, let me tell you my own story. When I do a seminar and I design a seminar, in the margin I write MOS, my own story, which is the example of what happened to me. So I never talk about anything that I have not proven to work, and that I don't have hundreds, if not thousands, of people who have proven it to work. I was in Washington at a big conference 3 weeks ago, and this man came up to me out of the crowd, and he recognized me. I didn't know who he was. And he said, "You changed my life. You made me rich." And I have heard that, surprise, surprise, 1,000 times all over the world, every day, emails and letters and communications. "You changed my life. You made me rich," in every conceivable language. Why? And I always ask them why. And you know what they do? They smile like a pumpkin on Halloween, and they say, "It was the goals. It was the goals. Before I listened to you or read your stuff, I didn't know how important goals were." So many years ago, I started off and I had been broke all my life. I was 36 years old, and I decided to give seminars. And one day, a businessman called me. He had a large multi-level organization nationwide. He had 800 people who were small business people, entrepreneurs, and they're having an annual conference. And he said, all of these people have one common goal, which is to become millionaires in the course of their working lifetime. Can you do a seminar on how to become a millionaire? And I still remember that. And I said, absolutely. Because when you're starting off as a speaker, you agree to speak on any subject that they will pay you for. You know, there's a funny little story that I think of, and it's the story about the priest who has two parrots, and they sit on the stand and they pray all the time, Brother Matthew and Brother Paul. And they sit there with a rosary and they pray all the time. One day, another priest is visiting them, and there they are praying away, doing their rosaries. And he said, I'm really concerned about my two parrots because they're so pious that all they do is pray. And he said, well, as a matter of fact, my son came back from sailing, working on a ship, and he brought me a parrot that had been on the ship. And the parrot had learned a lot of foul language from the other sailors. And so if he talks all the time, never stops talking, why don't we bring my son's parrot, put him on the stand between the two pious parrots, and maybe that will loosen them up. So they brought the parrot over, they put him there, and the parrot from the ship says, I'm a whore, I'm a whore, I'm a whore. And the priest was paralyzed. But one of the parrots, Brother Matthew, leaned over to Brother Paul and said, Brother Paul, our prayers have been answered. So I always think of that. I tell this to my audiences all over the world. I say, whenever you go out there, remember, you're a whore. You're a whore. What does that mean? It means that you sell. Your job is to go out there and generate revenues and money. Your job is not to drink coffee and talk to your friends and go to movies in the afternoon. And I know you do it because nobody's watching you. And so your job is to work. And there's a direct relationship between how long and how hard you work relative to others that determines how much you earn relative to others. And this is a truth. Just like gravity is a truth, things fall down, they don't fall up. Your job is to be always doing things to generate money. It's like that joke. Anyway, so
Yes. Welcome back. Brian Tracy says there's no otherwise. You want to get success, you want to become successful, hard work is a must. And he says that all self-millionaires today we have in developed countries, and I believe even in developing countries, they're hard-working people. No wonder they wake up very early before 6 a.m. There are people who love exercise after waking up so they can stimulate the brain cells. Not only that, he says these are people who love studies. And it's giving an example of some who take 2 hours every morning to study before getting to work. It's not a joke. Someone says if you want to hide a secret from an African, put it inside a book. That one means if we want our hard work to produce to us, part of the effort we put for ourselves includes at least having more hours to study and adding knowledge to ourselves. I know some people, they still have an issue with the challenge of studying. What about audiovisual? We have YouTube today. We have different areas whereby we can get a lot of massive information. Taking 2 hours a day will become extremely paramount. Someone said, if you take 5 minutes a day to study on a matter, 1 hour a day to study on a matter for 5 years, you'll become a guru within that specific area. Mean that all of us, it doesn't matter whether you went to university, you went to college, you went up to class 8 or form 4, if you take 1 hour to study on an interest area for the next 5 years, you will become a guru within that particular area and an authority but it demands hard work. He says people believe in hard work. Part of the work for them to make money is to sell, 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 and sell. And also selling is hard work. So putting our energy on the right place as part of our culture of hard work can bring a lot of great results in our life. That one means if you are lazy and not moving out to put your energy in your area of interest, then by the end of the day, you are not going to get progress. In my field of psychometrics, you usually say it was found out that 80% of Kenyans are career misplaced. 80% of Kenyans are career misplaced. That one means we have 80% of our people who are in wrong careers. Now, that one also means they are putting a lot of their energy on a wrong place. So do you think you're going to get the best results? Absolutely not. But putting your energy on the right place has potential to bring a lot of results in your life in one way or the other. That's why it makes it different. Let me get somebody else on board today. Pastor Stephen Mwareri following us all the way from Kasarani. Thank you, Stephen Mwareri. I'm really happy for you being in this forum today. Stephen Mwareri. I think, yeah, I know him as Pastor Stephen Mwareri. I'm happy and proud of you. Again, we have Timanoi Baxon says, wow, getting up early before 6 a.m. Yes, that's what he said. It has to be part of your culture, even as you listen. Now I have my kids watching all the way from Mombasa. Thank you, Joseph and Victoria, as you are watching from Mombasa. We have board. Agnes Masiga says, joining in from Nairobi. Thank you, Agnes, even as you're joining in from Nairobi. One thing you have learned today, hard work is key. Apart from hard work, what else do we need to know which can help us so that we can be people of progress and success? Now, there's a need of change, paradigm shift change for us to have great success so that our hard work can bring results. What is the kind of change we need? Apart from hard work, what else do we need to know and to do so that we can get the kind of change we need for the kind of results? Let us listen from Golden Myron, these key concepts for success.
I'm giving you a paradigm shift that I wish somebody had given me. I'm telling you something that if somebody would have told me this, if somebody would have sat me down and said, look, now Myron, young Myron, look, here's the deal. It's easier to make a lot of money in a short period of time than it is to make a little money over a long period of time. But if you're going to make a lot of money in a short period of time, you're going to have to work at higher levels of value. Because that's what I discovered was the master key, right? Because you got 4 levels of value. The lowest level is implementation. Use your muscles over time to make money. The next level is unification. You use your management skills to make money. You make more money than the people who do the thing when you manage the people who do the thing. But wealth doesn't start to be created until you get above that next line, and that's communication. You use your mouth to make money. You craft messages that move the masses. You have conversations that create cash flow. And whether that means you're an author, whether that means you're in sales, whether that means you're a singer or a songwriter. Like my wife asked me the other day, she said, Myron, do you know who the richest country singer is? I said, yeah, Dolly Parton. 100%. You know why Dolly Parton's the richest country singer? Because she's written the most songs and she owns the rights to all the songs. She's the one that communicated the message. She don't sing all the songs. She's written more country songs, has more country songs written, copyrighted than anybody other country songwriter. She's the richest country song. Like you wouldn't, if you did, like I study business, so I want to know the business aspect of people's business, right? Well, use your mouth. You write songs, you write movies, you act in movies. You're in sales, you're an author, you're a speaker, you're a coach, you're a consultant. I'm a consultant. I show people which buttons to push on their business. And when I show them which buttons to push on their business, they push those buttons and then they send me money. And see, most people, they work hard on what's not working so they won't have to spend the mental energy to think about what would work better. People say, Myron, what do you do? I'm a consultant. What's that mean? Well, it's kind of like the opposite of an employee. What does that mean? Well, I used to be an employee. I had a job. And so people paid me so they could tell me what to do. Right? So I was an employee. They paid me so now they can tell me what to do. Now I'm a consultant. People pay me so I can tell them what to do. Right? And that sounds funny, but the reality is when I tell them what to do and they do it, they make more money. Okay, so my objective is to help you discover skills. So the third highest level is communication. The highest level is imagination. The people who come up with the best ideas and then communicate them the best, those are the people who make the most money. If you're working with your muscles, the amount of money you're going to be able to generate, the amount of wealth you're going to be able to generate with a physical resource that's constrained by a limited resource called time is going to be a limited amount of money. Wealth is a spiritual outcome, which means if you want to produce a lot of wealth, you have to operate on a higher spiritual level. And communication is higher than doing it yourself, and it's even higher than managing the people who do it. All of us have to work in all of those arenas. There's some implementation that I have to do. There's some unification, management that I have to do. There's some communication that I have to do, and there's some imagination I have to do. The big money I make is because of my ideas and my words. That's where the big money comes from. The big money that I make doesn't come from me shoveling dirt or cleaning something or painting something or fixing something. And it's okay if that's the business you're in. There's nothing wrong with those businesses. It's just really hard to create wealth because you've put yourself in a business that has built-in limitations that you can't overcome. And I'm not saying that everybody needs to be in the business I'm in. Some people don't want to be. Some people like doing plumbing. Then do plumbing. Some people like fixing cars. Fix cars. One's not better than the other. They're just different. The only way to, whether you know it's better is, does it get you closer to your objective? If it gets you closer to your objective, it's better. If it keeps you further from your objective for a longer period of time, it's not better. That's the measurement. Does it help you fulfill your purpose?
That's a real big challenge. There's a need of a paradigm shift. Now, many of us, when we went to school, when we went to college, when we went to university, we went in to be trained so that by the end of the day, we can get employed. Now, to be employed is the lowest level of financial income, whereby we put all our energy using our own human effort against time. Now, if unfortunately, even at your workplace, where you are putting all your energy against time, you are on a wrong place, then you'll be putting all of your energy on a wrong place, which won't be productive by the end of the day. Now, the second phase talks about management. Within work environment, there's a level of management whereby you earn more money than people who are employees within your work environment. Some people work in systems whereby they are getting higher rankings, whereby they're getting more money than those who are at low ranking level. But still, both of these people have a big limitation. Now, the third and the fourth level, whereby is communication, it says that putting energy and identifying these kind of areas, like people who earn a lot are people who are good in communication. That's why people in insurance, people are doing sales, people are doing authorship of books, people who are writing songs. The more they put energy in that area, history shows us that they really move very far. The idea is this: put your energy and hard work on what works for you. Don't waste time on what does not work. One of the good book talks about different people are given different talents at different time. Now, talent and gifts are very key. And I've really come to appreciate it through the field of psychometrics where I am, as I find there's some people who are university materials, some are college materials, some people are gifted and talented. We call them vocational material people. And interestingly, with vocational material people, some of them may not be getting anything in class, but in the area of where they're genius prone, they tend to excel more than a graduate who is putting his energy on a wrong place. This is what I mean. If somebody got A+ or an A, and he was taken to the medical school and he was wired for business. What happens? He'll be a doctor who will be running from one hospital to another to earn commissions. While if he was a business person, he could have earned fortune. Another example, maybe you're wired to get into business and you get into military. Now, because you're wired to business, you're supposed to come with ideas and imagination and create solution to people. You have found out yourself in a system whereby you have to follow command and obey while assuming and thinking you are thinking. Every career is important and good, but what is required is you being in the right place, right career at the right time, so that you can have the best results for your life. And that's when we're going to talk about putting hard work where it produces us more benefit than putting hard work where there's no productivity. However, people who enjoy more are people who have ventured into communication. Today, probably you have been feeling like I'm poor in communication. I need to be an effective communicator. Kindly, I'll be putting my phone number as an expert in public speaking and a coach to many people who want to become effective public speakers. Kindly just get my contact, communicate to me, book an appointment, and I will be your coach. I will be your coach and train you on how you can become an effective communicator, and you can use the same skill in your business and other areas of life. I've done it to people today who are in corporate sector, who are CEOs in companies, who are in political field, who are in teaching field, and they're doing very well. Some even in some of our mainstream media, and they're people I personally train them to become effective speakers. And maybe you're telling me, I think I'm also misplaced and I'm in a wrong career and I'd like to know where I can be. Get my number, call me, book an appointment. I can do this special assessment called psychometrics. And I'm very happy because today in our country, Kenya, I'm one of the few, if not only the only one today, who has practiced consistently for the last 15 years, helping people to discover themselves, their potential, their ability, and where they can suitable work and succeed. The first Kenyan who works with NASA today in the US happened to be one of our clients at one point of time. When this person was at around the age of 14, we did a psychometric assessment and we realized that this young boy was a genius prone. And we told his parent, please don't waste your time with this kid studying in Kenya. Take him abroad. He became the youngest Kenyan and first African to work with NASA. Not NASA, the political party. I'm talking about NASA guys who go to the moon. And that's why I put my contact for you. Call me, get in touch with me. I can assess your children from the 11 years up to a mature person of 65 years. You want to become an effective speaker, kindly contact me and we can organize one-on-one training and you become an effective. Why? Because communication level is the beginning of great financial wealth creation, even as you push and push and push. And then says the third phase or the fourth phase is imagination. People who think and imagine and come with solution, they earn more money than people who use their internet. That's why there are some companies which employ people to be paid for thinking and coming with ideas, while others are being paid for implementing ideas. Is this program educative? Are you getting something good? Are you learning something interesting? If you can, from where you are, let me hear you. Let me know where you're watching us from, so that by the end of the day, someone by the name of Intensity Peak says, watching from Likoni, Mombasa. Thank you, Intensity, for watching. Timaneo says once more, great, put your energy and hard work in what works for you. Great, student. Put your energy on what works for you. Yes, here we have Oscar Omondi watching all the way from Mombasa, Likoni. Thank you, Oscar, for joining my program today. I'm really happy. We have someone else here. Eve Tracy Masai, my one and only sister, watching from Moro, Nyakach, Dala, Pacho. Thank you very much, Eve, as you're watching all the way from Nyakach. I'm happy. We have Kevin Wisdom. Oh, Keo, one of my former students in public speaking. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Kevin. I'm happy for you joining our program. All the way, I don't know where you are Wilson, Wisdom, Kevin, but I'm happy after a long time. Today, you're right here with me in this program. Paradigm shift must take place. Let's get to communication and earning from our thinking. It will bring a very big difference in one way or the other. What next do we need to do? Do we need to learn from marketplace venture so that we can become better, better, and better? Now, the third thing which we need to do is to avoid addiction to difficulties. Avoiding addiction to difficulties. What do I mean? You know, there are people who are so much used to difficult life to the point where they're addicted to difficult life and they don't believe there's a way in which you can start prevailing without suffering. How can we avoid addiction to difficulties? Let me bring back Myron. She helps us even to understand how we can be able to overcome difficulties.
Married, I'm 25 years old. I'm still buying and selling cars, but I also got started selling insurance and investments, right? The only problem was I was terrible at sales. I wasn't just bad. Oh no, I was woefully awful. How bad were you? Well, I'm glad you asked. I was so bad. I got started with this company called A.L. Williams back in October of 1985. I memorized my presentation. I got my license in January of 86. I started doing presentations. I talked to friends. I talked to family. I talked to strangers. I talked to anybody who would listen to me. I did not make my first sale until April of 1997. And I was doing a lot of presentations. I started October of 95. I'm not 97, October of 87. I got started October of 85, licensed in January of 86. Made my first sale in April of 87, not April of 97. A year and a half. It was a year and a half. I was terrible. But by the way, what's the lesson in that? You don't have to be good at something in order to get good at something. I wasn't good when I got started. But you know what I was? I was willing to be bad and keep doing the activity long enough to get good. Most people, when they're bad, they say, I'm bad, and then they go do something else. And I'd have people ask me during that year and a half when I wasn't making any money, are you still doing that thing? And I would say to them, and yes, I said this, do you still have that job you hate? You come at me, I come at you, bruh. That's how we do it. Okay, y'all saw the other side of me. I'm gonna pump the brakes on that part. But I was terrible at sales. But you know what I did? I didn't even buy books on sales. I went to the library and checked out books on sales. Why? I didn't have enough money to buy the books. I know that's hard for y'all to believe. I did not have enough money to buy Tom Hopkins' How to Master the Art of Selling Anything. And there was no Google, there was no Amazon, there was no buy it on eBay for $5. I went to the library, I checked out the book, and then I read it. And this was back in 1985, y'all. I read this book in 1985. Here's what I remember. The two things that I remember the most are, number one, number one, I'm going to give you three things. Number one, here's number one. There's pain in change until the benefits of that change appear. That's one of the principles I learned from Tom Hopkins. There's pain in change until the benefits of that change appear. Okay? So that was the first principle. So I learned early, thank God I learned early, that if I'm going to become good at sales and I'm not good at sales, there's going to be some pain involved. There's going to be pain in that transformation process. Okay, I'm willing to go through the pain. The benefits will eventually appear. Well, they are clearly here now. They are apparently here because I eventually got good at sales. Okay, second thing I learned from Tom Hopkins was if you're going to get good at sales, you must learn to love no. Because yeses exist on the other side of no's. Not on the other side of your nose, on the other side of no's. So you've got to go through the yes, no's to get to the yeses. So if you don't learn to love no, you will never get to enough yeses to make yourself successful. So I fell in love with no's. In fact, I created this game early in my sales career where my objective was to do enough prospecting, because I used to do prospecting back in the day, back when it made sense. What I would do is I would make sure I talked to enough people to get 10 no's in a row. So I'd say, hey, and whatever the president, hey, would you like to look at my opportunity? No. I want to get 10 people to say no in a row. That wasn't the presentation, but I'm just making it simple. Hey, would you like to look at my opportunity? No. Hey, would you like to look at my opportunity? No. Okay, I only got 7 more to go and I'm done for the day. Would you like to look at my opportunity? No. Would you like to look at my opportunity? No. Would you like to look at my opportunity? Sure. So then I show them my opportunity, and now I got to start over from scratch. So what I did was I turned rejection into a game, and so no became something I looked for until I advanced. So at the beginning of my sales career, I literally was, my objective was to get as many no's in a row as I could. But if I got a yes, if I didn't get 10 no's in a row, and I got a yes in the middle of those 10 no's, what would happen is I would get disqualified. I'd have to start over. So I have to go start over, get 10 more no's in a row. Yes, 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 yes. I mean, no, 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 yes. Got to start over again. And so what it did was it got me used to people telling me no. And then I got to the place where I learned how to generate leads, and then I learned how to never get another no. Well, y'all want me to teach you how to never get another no? So you're doing a presentation, you're closing, right? And this is how you never get another no. You're closing one-on-one. Here's how you don't get no. First of all, you have to become more in tune with your senses, because you can smell a no coming before it gets here, right? You smell it. It's like, this person's, they're going to be a no. You feel it. And so then you start feeling awkward. So what I did, as soon as I got the first whiff of a no, that smells like a no. Okay, that's an N. Okay, as soon as I got I'm keeping it real. As soon as they start giving me like this little inkling, they about to tell me no. I said, I'm going to tell them no now. I'm telling them no. You know what? I would close up my presentation. I said, you know what? It doesn't look like you're the kind of person I'm looking for, at least not now. But I really appreciate you taking the time to look, so have a great day. Yes, oh yes, indeed. I'd say no so fast. I'd let you off my hook so fast you'd think you was a fish. I'm talking about, I'm done. I remember one time I went to see this rich guy. He was rich. I was broke. I was broke as a joke, but he was rich. And he was an influential guy in Harrisburg. He's like, and I sat down. He's like, okay, you got 5 minutes. 5 minutes? I said, oh, I thought you wanted to see this. There's no universe in which I can do this in 5 minutes. Okay. Tell you what, it's been good talking to you. Okay. How much time you need? 45 minutes. Okay, you got 45 minutes. Oh, okay. I start talking to him. He tries to take my presentation book out of my hand. And you see this look I got on my face? This is exactly what you doing? I'm just looking at that's my book. I'm showing you this. You ain't reading that. That's my book. You know what? Clearly this is not for you, at least not now. But it's been nice talking to you. Have a nice day. I do that so fast.
Does hard work pay out? I don't know if you're learning something good, something great, just post it. Just post it. Post the point which you find to be very interesting. Apart from that, kindly do me a favor and subscribe to my channel so that every time we come on and like it, you can get a signal so that you can join Moment. Oh, I'm so much used to Moment with Christ. You can join us in a marketplace venture. Very good, very interesting, extremely nice. We're talking about being addicted to difficulties. And it says for you to avoid being addicted to difficulties, one of the things which you have to put in a concept of hard work is that there is pain in change. There is pain in change until benefit of that change appears. Now, being pain is not an easy thing because most of the people don't like pain. They want easy way out. So hard work which pays out is the kind whereby even in pain of paying the price to study, to wake up early, to go for exercise, to go for coaching, to pay someone to train you, there's pain in it. But it says that you need to endure your pain as part of paying the price for hard work until the benefit of change appears because you paid the price. So hard working in the right place will always bring results which you demand. Why? Life will never give you what you want, but only what you demand. That's the reality of life by the end of the day. Again, he says that you must learn to love no. Don't take every opportunity coming on your way. Some are destructive. Some will distract you from your way. Right now, I've decided that because I'm a professional speaker, I'm good in speaking, I've been having a lot of experience in the media. 7 years, I used to have program running a Christian program with Pwani FM. Another 7 years, I ran some program with Radio Salam. It helped me to gain experience with the media. At the same time, teaching and training people to become effective speakers. And I've realized that it is working for me very well. So what have I decided? I have decided to put all my energy to train people, to equip people, to talk to people, to coach people using media platform and one-on-one training and group trainings. And now I'm not ready to be distracted by any other thing. This way I'm putting my energy. All other good things, I've learned to say no. Opportunities coming, some I'm just saying no, no, no. Learn to say no, love to say no until a time will come whereby people will never tell you no. It is you who will be telling them no. When you're prospecting to them, you're giving them an idea and they sound to be like they're proud, they're not willing to tell them, sorry, I think the idea I'm talking to you is not of value to you. Leave them alone. Why? The law of life. Not everything belongs to everyone. So hard work in the right particular place is extremely key. Why? We must learn to turn our rejection to gain. It's like if you're doing the work of the kingdom and ministry and you want to reach out to someone to give his life to Christ, someone will be saying, no, no, but you persist until you get at least one who jumps into the kingdom. The same thing applies in business, in sales, and other areas. You want to enjoy success, you have to do that. And he says that we must learn to say no. That's very key, very important in so many ways. There are more people I can see around who are really appreciating. Daniel Charo says, watching all the way from Malindi. Thank you, Daniel Charo. I'm really happy and excited for you to be in the studio today, even joining us. Daniel Charo, all the way watching from Malindi. I'm happy. Kevin says, I'm watching all the way from Migori. Thank you, Kevin Wisdom, watching from Migori. I have someone else, a good friend, Cyprian Uganda, saying joining all the way from Kitale. I'm very happy, Cyprian. Cyprian, we do with him some program for support of orphans. I'm happy for you being available today. Someone else is adding, Agnes Masiga, no pain, no gain. And I know Agnes, she's in an insurance company. She knows what she's talking about. Pain will be followed by gain. That's why the Bible says lazy people, they don't even need to be given food because they're not ready to put their energy in the right place. Now, we have learned that working hard is important. And two, we have learned that working hard in the right direction is much more of value. But once you have discovered your area of interest, gift, talent, and other areas of a passion, what you need to do on your gift, talent, and passion so that by the end of the day, it can give you the kind of the results which you need. That's the area now you need to work on and to understand. It's like sharpening an axe. How can we sharpen our skill, our talent, and our gift so that when we put our energy in it, it can give us the kind of the results we need? Let me get back Myron Golden as he talks to us how to sharpen our axe, how to build our piece so that we can get the right kind of results we need.
So when I focus on working higher, I wrote a book. This book makes me hundreds of dollars, sometimes thousands of dollars a day. I wrote the book one time. So did I work hard? It took me a year and a half to write this. Like, I wanted to make sure when it came out, it had the show enough in it, right? So it took me a year and a half to write this book. But once I got it done, I don't do any work on it at all anymore. I don't do anything. I created an asset that income can follow. So what did I do? I thought about the concepts. I wrote the concepts in the book. Now the book makes me between, I don't know, $15,000 and $30,000 a month. Just that one asset. Now, I'm not saying that so you can think, oh, Myron's so cool, he makes it. It has nothing to do with it. I'm just showing you where the wealth is. And it's not at working harder at what's not working. It's in sharpening the axe, sharpening the mindset axe, so you can have a perspective that you didn't have before. Most people can't seize wealth, S-I-E-Z-E, because they can't see wealth, S-E-E. You can't see where it's at with your eyes, so you can't seize it with your hands. How many of y'all tracking? Wave at me, my peeps. And so what we got to do is we got to get to the place in our lives where we can see the wealth, so we can seize the wealth. By the way, when I say see the wealth, and I say we need to sharpen the axe in our mind, we don't see with our eyes, we see with our mind. Our eyes are just one of the instruments our mind uses to see. And how many of you have ever, your parents said, hey, bring me that salt out of the cupboard. And you go, I don't see it. And then they go grab it. It's right in front of your face. If it was a snake, it'd bit you, right? Okay, that's the kind of stuff my parents would say. Okay, well, I'm glad it was salted. It wasn't a snake, right? Okay, but you couldn't see it. Why? Because you couldn't see it because your mind wouldn't let you see it. And so what we have to do is we have to clear up our minds. We have to sharpen the axe in our minds. So here, what's the principle in this? What's the principle in this Ecclesiastes verse? Here's the principle. There are two ways to increase effectiveness. There are two ways. Okay, so if I'm going to increase effectiveness, I want to make my effectiveness greater. There are two ways to do that. Way number one is I can increase effort. This is what most people do. They bought into the idea, I'm going to increase my effectiveness by increasing my effort. It keeps going back to that. All right, don't you do that again now. Okay, increase effectiveness by increasing effort. So I'm going to work harder. Hey, let me ask you a question. Does it make sense to work harder on what's not working to get ahead? That doesn't make sense. It's like if you're in a boat and you're like you got a bucket and the boat's sinking and you're taking the bucket and the water's coming in faster than the water's going out. You're basically wasting your time regardless of how hard you work, right? So you can increase your effectiveness, and in the case we're talking about right now, we're talking about wealth, we're talking about the effectiveness of our money. We increase the effectiveness by working harder, which is what I learned how to do when I was growing up. I'm so thankful that my parents taught my brothers and I how to work hard. Like, we were raking the yard when the yard was dirt, and we were making sure the lines were straight. I'm serious. Like, we were. I remember one time I asked my mom, Mom, can we get a dishwasher? She said, get a dishwasher? I got 7 dishwashers. What, 7 dishwashers? You and your 6 brothers. A dishwasher? What you talking about? What? Right? And so I'm glad my parents taught us to work hard. And they taught it because working hard made me better. Here's what happens. If you don't work hard, when you find something that works well, you won't work hard at that either, and it will be less effective than it could be. So you want to apply hard work to something that works well. Are you tracking? So that's one way to increase effectiveness, but a better way to increase effectiveness is to increase efficiency. I increase my effectiveness by increasing my efficiency. In other words, I make sure that each measure of input that I put into a thing produces a greater output. How do I do that? By sharpening the axe. Do you realize all of us can sharpen our mental axes. How do we sharpen our mental axes? By reading books. You ain't gonna sharpen your mental axe by watching Netflix. You're not gonna sharpen your mental axe by listening to music. Generally speaking, you're not gonna sharpen your mental axe by going to the club. You're gonna sharpen your mental axe by reading books that teach concepts that are useful for you that you don't currently know. You're gonna sharpen your mental axe by surrounding yourself with people who are thinking at a higher level. And when you do those things, what happens is you get exposed to ideas. I think about Joel. I remember Joel Bauer. He's one of my business coaches, and I remember when I first heard of him. It was probably back in 2009, maybe 2008. And I was talking to James Malinchak, and James Malinchak said, yeah, Joel Bauer trains everybody. Joel Bauer's trained, he's trained Tony Robbins, he's trained Jordan Belfort, he's trained Kevin Trudeau, he's trained Robert Allen, Mark Victor Hansen. He starts naming all these people. I'm like, how come I never heard of this guy if he trained all those people, right? I mean, I'm fairly in the know, so I start looking him up. And sure enough, he's trained all these people. So I said, okay. I got all excited. So I started searching him out. I found he had a course online. It was $2,200. I'm like, I'm getting this.
That's really great, really nice. Sharpening your axe. Mindset, skill set, and tool set. Now, that one means as you get to discover your passion, your area of strength, your area of excellency, it becomes extremely important to identify the right people to associate with them so that by the end of the day, you can sharpen your axe and become better so that you can be able to produce by the end of the day. What we say as I conclude due to time, I'd like to appreciate Zeddy Paul, who is joining us all the way from Singapore. Thank you, Zeddy, all the way from Singapore, joining us for today's presentation. And much more, also like to appreciate Jimmy Kibugi, son of Korija, listening all the way from Samburu. I'm very happy, Jimmy, even joining us today all the way from Samburu. This is actually a nice, good, excellent thing. I have a few questions to ask today. Have you been working hard? Or you have been lazy? In case you have been working hard, is it working or not? If where you're putting your energy is not productive, kindly and graciously kick it out and forget about it. 2, is your energy on the right place or is it misplaced? Focus where you're putting your energy because it determines where you are heading to. Which skill do you need to add to your effectiveness? I'm ready to train you, to coach you in public speaking. I'm ready to do a psychometric assessment on you that may know where you can naturally put your energy and succeed. Not only on you, also to your children from 11 years and above. And finally, how effective are you willing to pay for your progress? Good night. God bless you. Let's connect tomorrow in Rebuilding Family Foundation as we are going to address how we can have more progress and success in our family and marriage. Next week, a day like today, we'll be back again on Marketplace Venture. Thank you for watching this program and joining us from different parts of this country. Good night. The Lord bless you very, very much. I appreciate your attendance to this forum tonight. God bless you.